Hi guys, welcome to the last video in our Understanding Photoshop Layer series. All right, it's a three-part series. We had the first part where I taught you about how to transform layers and the rest. We had our second part also, and this is the last and the third part of this series. And I hope even with the first and the second, you should have been doing a lot by now. Okay, Photoshop is not difficult, like I said, and we are learning the key aspect of it. Okay, so when we are done with what we have to do today, you find out that your hands have become more flexible with using what? Photoshop. Okay, so let's just get into what we have for today. Okay, so I'll just open one of my projects. Open one of my project. We used this the last time, so we are going to work with this time. Okay, we're going to work with this. So we have good looking design here, and there are many layers that make up this design. Many layers. Okay, last time I taught you how to organize your layers, and you can see how the layer is organized. Just looking as if they are just how many elements are there? Okay, they are just 6 elements. Meanwhile, there are more than if not up to 50 layers here. I just group them so I can organize them. Okay, so with this it is very easy to locate anything you want to locate. Okay, so what I have to teach you today is first of all making new empty layers. Okay, empty layers. If you go here, you would see a plus sign which says create a new layer. Okay, create a new layer, and if you create a new layer, you'll be very surprised that there is nothing there. It is empty. There's nothing appearing there. There's no shape or anything. Okay, so what this new layer does is that it houses something. What? It houses something. It houses something. So if you create a new layer here, and you put a shape or anything, so far that new layer you created is selected, you can put things inside. Okay, it helps to house anything like shapes. It's still selected though. Hope you can see it. It's still selected. So it helps to what? House maybe a shape or any other thing. And the most important thing is that you can see that the name of the layer has changed to a rectangle because it's now housing what? The rectangle. It's now housing the rectangle. It's now housing the rectangle. And the most important thing I want to show you is that some tools would not work without an empty layer. Okay, some tools will not work, and one tool that wouldn't work like that is what we call brush tool. If you click an image, you might likely draw on the image, but that's not what you want to do. Maybe you want to create a separate something, a separate just maybe shape or just a design or just a pattern with your brush tool. So that it is impossible to do. So what you do is that you create a new empty layer. That's the use of an empty layer. Okay, that's one of the use of an empty layer. What I find most useful about it. So once you see that I just create this new empty layer and my brush tool is still active, you see that okay, it's ready to use. Something that I was showing cancel just now. This is now showing properly. Okay, and that was what I used in this part of this design. Okay, like a sketched arrow. Okay, let me just see if I would find it here. So you can see it carrying his name, Leah. Let me name it properly. Okay, so you can see it carrying his name, um arrow. Okay, so I use the layer to form this. Okay, some people can use their graphic tablet to just draw this and this, but I'm using my mouse. Okay, if we have our brush here, and we can easily just delete this one. Let's try to form this again. So we've deleted it, and let's try to form it. So you see that we need a new layer. So once we are clicking our new layer, this brush becomes active. Okay, it becomes active, and we can draw what we have here. Okay, we can draw what we have here. You can see, we can draw what we have here. Okay, so without this layer, this would be impossible. And you can draw that into, you can draw other things. It will still house it. It will house everything. Okay, it will house everything. If you're adding a shape, it is going to house that shape for you. Okay, so that is one of the use of um empty layer, creating an empty layer. And don't forget it's located here. That's create new. Okay, create new. Okay, so I'm not in use of this, so I'm going to delete it. I just use that for an illustration purpose. Okay, so bring about this my so imagine just using it to create amazing lines in your design. Okay, so we'll move to the next thing I'm showing you, and that's applying effects to layers. Okay, you can apply effects to layers just like this image here. I can apply an effect to it, and there are different effects you can apply to it. And one major thing is opacity, because when I opened Photoshop the first time, I was looking for opacity everywhere. Where is this guy? Where is this guy? Until I found it here, and that was like years ago. That you won't believe. That was like I started using Photoshop maybe 2017. Yeah, I started using Photoshop 2017. So that's way back. So this was one of the things I was finding difficult to find. So you can see opacity is here. It's still an effect you can add to your work. But what you make sure you want to make sure that your layer is selected. Okay. One mistake people make is that they are applying an effect and say this effect is not working. Meanwhile, their layers is not selected. So I select my layers and I apply my effect. So there are other effects you can also apply to your layers. Okay. If you look down here, you would find no, not layer mask now, not layer mask. Okay, you see this FX here, so you can apply an effect to your layer. Okay, you can apply an effect to your layer, and it is superb. It's really superb. So we have bevel and the rest. You can apply it to your layer. Okay, you can apply all of them to your layer, and it will make it look better, look great. Okay, and the other effects too you can apply to your layers. Okay, for an image like this, I can just come here and apply. We have exposure, vibrance, hue. You know what hue means, right? It just means including increasing rather the saturation. So you can see I'm increasing the saturation. But notice something, that our background is also getting saturated. Okay, and that's why I'm going to show you something. Our background is getting saturated. That's what you have to understand about layers. Why is it like that? Because this is an effect. All right, this is not necessarily an object. It's an effect. So you can see this layer like this. You won't find it on your composition itself, but you will find it here on your layer session. Okay, so and it is going to be applied to anything it is on top of. Okay, so what is it on top of? It's on top of our image, on top of our background. So it's going to be applied just like that, randomly like that. Okay, it is not going to affect anything above it. Okay, so what you want to do, if I want to apply it to only this image, I don't want it to affect my background. So it's making my background pinkish. Okay, so what I do is that's why you have to learn clipping mask. Okay, clipping mask. So what you do is that you right click on it, use and saturation, right click on it, and you click on create clipping mask. So you see our background is now free. Okay, our background is now free of it. Our background is free of it. So we have our image already. So the same thing. Just imagine I want to add a white and black effect. Okay, let's see a white and black effect on our image. Okay, black and white. So you see that is affecting our background. These our lines here used to be blue, but now it has changed because this black and white is being applied to everything. Let me just delete this old layer. It's the same thing for deleting layers. You click on it, press delete. Okay, so our black and white effect is applied to both the background. So we don't want it that way. Maybe we want to apply it to only our image. Okay, we want to apply it to only our image. So what we do is that we right click on it, like what I said, create clipping mask. You see that our color is restored on the background, because now when you see this arrow here, you know that it's being clip masked. Okay, it is being applied to only this image, only that image. Okay, so take note of clipping mask. So the last thing I want to show you that will really change your, I know even now, as at now, you've gotten a lot. Okay, but I want to show you this because this really helped me in Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to hide every other thing, how to blend objects together. Okay, like our previous design, you saw that it was kind of looking complex, but it wasn't. Let me just show you. It wasn't. You can see that we have many objects in our background, we have lights, we have many things. So how do we blend this thing together? That's something you find in Photoshop, and you find in other design softwares, maybe like CorelDRAW here. So over here in our backgrounds, I'll just open our background so we'll see everything that is there. You see a globe. but the globe is not this background. I have proved it to you. I just hit the globe and you see that our background is very plain. So this globe is here to just add some effect to the background. Okay, so you can see we can add more here. You can see that this share is different, but I blended it with the background. Maybe we'll have our background here now. We'll use our eraser tool. So let me say I want to blend other objects inside this background. I'm going to hide this tool. Let me bring another new object inside this background. So let me find something to add. Will that be as illustrated? Let's try this. So we have a random image here. So we want to make use of all this pattern. Let's just add it to our background to make it more dynamic. Okay, the edges are showing. Just imagine you leave this thing like this. Do not be good. So what you want to do is to apply the eraser tool. That is, I mean, this is crazy. You can easily blend with this than using the transparency tool in CorelDRAW. Okay, so I just click on my eraser tool, and what you see that is showing the cancel sign. That's because if I click on it to tell me that the smart object must be rasterized. Okay, so what you just do is okay. After that, okay, you are good to go. So what I want to do is I want to increase my eraser size. I just come here over this menu. My eraser must be selected, so I increase my eraser size. So what I just want to do is to blend. Okay, just at the edges I blend. So you see that it's making sense. It's making sense. If you are not satisfied with it, you can increase it again so that it will be more smooth. Okay, so I want to erase this red part out. So you see that my background is already looking as though it were from another place entirely, just as if it's to get one thing you can do. Okay, so I have it here, and maybe I want to duplicate, and there's a way to duplicate your layers. All right, just right click on that layer and you see duplicate here, duplicate layer. It is going to turn into double. So we have it here. So I've duplicated it. I can just put another part of the background just to make it look beautiful. I have to lock it so that it does not move. This is what I was saying in the other part. Okay, let's just say we have this here, and what you have blended one layer with another. Okay, so you just do it stylishly. Just do it stylishly. Okay, I don't know if I'm to increase this. Okay, we have this. So I believe, let's just see how it looks. Let's see how it looks on our overall design. So you can see that it is quite noisy. It is quite noisy. Okay, open to our image. Okay, let's check our middle part. When you organize your layers, it will be easy to understand. Okay, so we have our background at the back, but it is a bit noisy. So what we can do is to reduce the opacity of what we added. Okay, so that's why it's good to learn your opacity. So you can reduce your opacity. Okay, to be masked. So you see, it's just stylishly on our background. Stylish. And that thing you can do is to use blending modes. Okay, you must have familiar with blending modes in CorelDRAW. So you see, the more I change it, just changes the way it reacts with the object below it. Okay, it changes the way it reacts with it. You can see that the blending mode is forming different things. I can leave it like this. You can see that it's showing a bit. It's not that pronounced. Way it's showing can just add an effect to your design. You see, it's just making that side. Okay, you see that it's still looking as good as the global grounds together. So this amazing series, something, and you've been educated. Okay, I have amazing videos for you. I'm just telling people, just stay one day and just let me finish all the contents for one day, and you'll be surprised with the body of knowledge you are going to have. Okay, so that's for that. So bye, see you next time.